48 and 49.
Yeah, didn't he do that several years ago?
That was pre-crisis. That was one of the last of the pre-crisis Batman tales. Catwoman had gone on the straight and narrow, and I think Alan Davis drew it. Catwoman was slowly, over the course of 5 or 6 years, going from being a criminal to being a assistant to Batman. And Joker got wind of it and said, you know what? The world's out of kilter if you're not going to be a Batman villain. I can fix that. How can I fix that? I'll just screw with your head. Sure as hell, she's back to being Selina Kyle, the evil jewel thief. And they never went back to that storyline again.
Set me up over a woman. A woman!
But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Oh, you should put that speech on tape.
He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Hello, Chicago, hello!
Hello.
Hello! Got a drink to that?
Welcome to Alternate Reality.
This is called Destroyer. She's playing an undercover cop with Sebastian Stan's Bucky, and
so she's doing her monster bit.
Yeah. And things go really, really bad. Apparently, the case goes really, really bad. She's shooting people, and some girl in a trunk. We didn't see there was a girl in a trunk.
Yeah, I did see that.
That sounds like a happy family Christmas movie.
Is it coming out for Christmas?
It's a Christmas movie.
Well, you know, Godfather 3 released Christmas time.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, I remember it released Christmas Day, as I remember it.
There's a bunch of happy, cheerful movies.
You don't
put
always...
Godfather 3 on Christmas Day?
Yeah, Godfather 3 is Christmas. Well, it's not Christmas Day, like the day before. Whenever the
usually the movies open up the Wednesday or so before Christmas to come out. So the movies would open up Friday now because Christmas is like on a Tuesday. Yeah, Christmas is on a Tuesday this year.
Yeah, Christmas is all screwed up this year.
Yeah, it's on a Tuesday.
Christmas and New Year's. They're both on Tuesdays.
Yeah, it's unusual.
Which is great for me because that's the day I pick up the books, is on Tuesdays, which we're obviously not doing.
You can't pick up
because it's Christmas. No, nobody's there.
Yeah. If they are, they probably slept there that night and they got kicked out of the house.
So they've got us picking up 2 weeks worth on the Tuesday before Christmas, and then I go back in, I think it's either the Thursday or the Friday after Christmas, to pick up the following week's stuff.
Well, 9 times out of 10, nothing comes out Christmas week anyway.
No, the last couple of years, the last week of the year, they've actually been doing a normal shipment because of where the calendars fall. Yeah. Pickup day was nowhere near Christmas, or it was nowhere near New Year's. So it was a normal shipping week.
Yeah,
it wasn't a huge shipping week, but it wasn't one of those 9-book shipping weeks. Yeah. This year, I think it's going to be one of those 9-book shipping weeks.
Didn't the Rebirth special ship on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day or something like that? It's like, we're going to ship this only book. It's the only book we're shipping.
Now, you know what we don't have a problem with? This show shipping late. Hey, folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome to The Alternate Reality. You've tuned into our little podcast here at the store Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all of your new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. New Comics Wednesday starts at 7 a.m. here at the store. That's right, I said 7 a.m. And all of the new product, comics, trades, everything else is up and ready for sale at 7 a.m. every New Comic Wednesday. So come on down. You're getting 15% off your new comics, 25% off your first issues, starting at 7 a.m. Wednesday morning. Nobody else is giving you that deal. And
are there donuts?
No, there's no donuts. No, there's no donuts. But you can bring donuts if you want.
Oh, okay. Go to Stan's.
And no other store is giving you a podcast like this. And this episode of The Alternate Reality is going to be an all comic book news update. No media news, no wrestling news, just DC, Marvel, indie comic. For the whole hour, we're going to do nothing but comic book news. And Bo?
Yes?
our first story.
Yes.
If Rod can tear himself away from it.
He's really enthralled in it.
But Black Label.
The Black Label line, which apparently according to Dan DiDio is being, what, retooled? Was it?
Being retooled. I was part of, I was there earlier. And by the way, I'm being joined today. I forgot to introduce you to
The Usual Suspects.
I'm being joined today by two usual suspects, the one and only newsman himself, Bocepheus.
How you doing, kids?
And his sidekick, Rod Flash, the Boy Wonder.
Oh, man, downgraded to sidekick.
Man, you're a sidekick?
Well, I tell you what,
You know, union. Talk to the union about that.
I know.
Remind me, and the next one I'll upgrade you and I'll make him the sidekick.
Okay.
But anyway, we're being joined by the two of you today.
So Dan told you what?
I was part of a retailer-only thing that Dan DiDio at DC does like once every month and a half, 2 months, where he sits down and does a Skype dial-in thing with retailers. It usually starts off with one or two bits of news that he puts out there, and then anybody have any questions, and people type in questions.
Hi, Dan.
Like I asked Dan, hey, Dan, all those variant covers you do at DC, every damn one of them would make it a spectacular poster. Why aren't you guys making posters anymore? In which case, he started mumbling a lot about, well, we got to check into how much it costs, and it's always been cost prohibitive before. And it's like, Marvel manages to do this.
Posters.
Well, how can Marvel manage to do
You're already
posters?
paying for the artwork. You're just blowing it up.
Yeah, how can Marvel manage to do this and not you? But that's a whole other thing. A variety of topics were covered in the dial-in. Among them was Black Label. It's being retooled,
Which means
quote unquote.
Gutted.
Retooled. Well, no.
It's being castrated.
No. No. It is apparently
homogenized.
Apparently, it is taking longer than they thought for editorial
to rewrite the stories they already had. Yeah.
They cash the checks.
No, to vet.
Well, they still get the checks.
No.
They still get paid.
No, to vet these stories. So in the meantime, what they're going to do, and this was always part of the plan, this is all from Dan DiDio. This is all from Dan. But in the meantime, what they're going to be doing, and it's already happened, is they're taking specific books out of their classic trade paperback section, like All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
They're and they're rebranding it Black Label.
Yes.
It's the same book, nothing else has changed. It's got sort of a new cover, but I mean that's no big deal.
The new
it's got a new cover on it, but it's got the great big Black Label logo slammed up in the upper right hand corner of the book.
Wouldn't it make sense for them to be the same size as the Black Label books then?
Well, no, it's a standard trade paperback size. It's not the larger size. It's not a larger format, but it is now All-Star Superman as part of the Black Label line. And they're going to be doing this with a bunch of books that they have. You know, stuff like Watchmen, stuff like All-Star Superman.
Watchmen's getting a double dip. You can get a hardcover and a trade.
Those are all under the Black Label.
Yeah, all the Frank Miller stuff you can think of, DC with New Frontier, Killing Joke, Black Orchid, all the Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb stuff. Yeah. They're all part of it. They'll be shipping for a while. And some anniversaries. You got the 10th anniversary of the Luthor trade, which people went, I didn't buy that when it came out. Well, you can get it again. The Joker one, you can get that in two versions, hardcover and trade. But yeah, that'll be a way to fill in the gap until they stop editing the hell out of the Black Label books that they already have.
The quote Dan DiDio used, and I wrote this down, it's all coming together slower than they anticipated. Now, here's the problem I have with that. This is a common excuse that editorial uses, and when I hear something like that, the first thing I think of is, oh, you're incompetent. What, you didn't know this beforehand? This just came as a huge shock to you beforehand. This is the thing that and Marvel too, every company uses as their excuse for a project that they want to throw out there and then grinds to a halt because the timetable we put for it, Doomsday Clock, the timetable we put together for it doesn't fit with what we're doing, and we didn't have enough forethought to get like 6 issues in the can, 8 issues in the can, and then release this thing. We took the artist on his word that, yes, I can do a monthly book, even though I've never done a monthly book in my life. Yes, I can do this one monthly. Sure you can.
Well, in this case, though, everything that happened in Batman Dim was approved by editorial.
Initially.
Then it came out and went, oh my God, what are you doing?
Well, initially, then it came out and it hit the fan.
Why does this line exist? Because the point was for it to be edgy.
Adult.
And now it's not edgy. Now it's homogenized.
Well, we don't know. The only thing that's come out is Batman Damned so far. Here's the thing. The objectionable material that's in Batman Damned, and I don't want to get back into the whole bad penis things. We did a news about that a month ago. But that in and of itself does not make it adult, and that in and of itself does not make it edgy. The story itself and what the artist and the writer are trying to convey, that is what makes it edgy. That's just cherry on top of the sundae, which you can live without. You don't need to have Batman's schlong hanging out in order to do that story.
Isn't the last image of the first issue Joker being crucified?
I think so.
No one notices that part of it, though.
No one notices Batman's butt on the second page after you see his schlong.
Well, naked butts are different. You can get away with naked butts on network television now.
Great. Yeah. Okay. So that's Black Label. Titanic Secrets. Tell me a Titanic secret.
You know, in Teen Titans,
yes,
we're going to find out who Crush's mother is.
That's a Titanic secret.
So Lobo got down with someone big deal in DC continuity, and we're going to find out where the little baby came from.
Supergirl?
Wonder Woman? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think Wonder Woman killed him.
We'll find out why Damian Wayne's got prisoners in a jail. Just like, why are you keeping prisoners? What is this all about? We're going to reveal what Jin's hiding from. I can only use my powers to this level, because if I use them more than that, someone will find out who I am. Why? And secrets about Roundhouse, Red Arrow, Kid Flash. And we'll also find out, this is a big mega thing. Apparently there's someone in the shadows who's behind every single thing that's happening in the DC universe right now.
Monitor.
No, it's Elseworlds, the TV things. No. Monitor would be an easy one. No, it's not Monitor. No, it's not Monitor. And our final DC story is very sad. I know you hate this story.
What? Well, it's not the final story. I've actually got a couple.
There's a couple.
But what you've got there?
What I got, there are 2 less DC New Age of Heroes books.
Okay, we got Silencer, we got Brimstone, we got there's another S one in there. Damage.
Terrific.
There's another S one. There's Silencer and something else.
Curse of Brimstone and Sideways have been canceled.
Sideways.
Yeah,
Sideways.
Both of them have been canceled. So you're down to 3 books out of 7. Silencer, Damage, and the Terrifics. And the Terrifics is not going to go past 12 issues because I think Jeff Lemire is moving on. Silencer will probably hang around because she's an Arrow. Even though she doesn't look anything like she looks like an Arrow, it's pretty effective. And Damage, well, they're trying to do something cool with Damage.
They're trying to make him the Hulk.
Yeah, they're trying to make him the Hulk. But yeah, this entire thing, which is going to change the world, it's going to be artist-driven, it's turned into a big dud.
Oh, man.
Not another dud from DC.
I think most of the guys that was doing the book left after the 5th.
Well, that was the other problem. These are supposed to be artist-driven books, and most of the artists left after the 3rd or 4th issue. So, how is it artist-driven?
I don't know. Oh, you know what I know? Most of them sold mediocre at best. None of them, except for the first issue, because Jim Lee did it. The first issue of
Immortal Men, which was the first one announced and the one that shipped the last.
That was the best of the bunch in terms of sales. But Jim Lee drew it, so I mean, that's the only reason.
And then
why.
you added like Curse of Brimstone and Unexpected, which no one was looking for and no one wanted.
Well, Brimstone, I kept looking around for this. Brimstone's a legacy character at DC, isn't it? Hasn't that character been around before? So they're keeping the name going?
And I guess the writer said, I got this great idea, and he went, yeah, sure, what the hell.
As far as Damage goes, that's also a legacy character. Wasn't there a guy that...
It's not the same Damage.
No, it's not the same Damage, but it's just... Well, Unexpected isn't anything like Tales of the Unexpected. No. But it's unexpected, so they're keeping that name live.
And, of course, the Silencer's brand new. Basically, she's a female Punisher.
But she's on Arrow.
Yeah, she's on Arrow.
The TV series.
Yeah, she's on the TV series.
As a bad guy.
As a very bad person.
Okay. But you see that last episode where he's actually walking out the gates?
Yeah.
And Diggle and Felicity are waiting there for him?
Yeah.
Look closer.
No. Did you notice the pan-out shot where Diggle completely disappeared?
That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. And that's the first thing I mentioned. We're sitting at home watching this thing, and the 2 of them are standing there. Arrow comes up. They hug each other.
He's all bloody,
then the camera flips through 180 degrees to the back and does a quick pan back. So you can see this big vista of the prison on the cliff with the waves beneath it and everything. You've got Arrow and you've got Felicity are hugging each other. The first thing I said was, where's Diggle?
And there's nowhere for him to go either. So like, what do you do? Go into the ground?
Did he fall?
No, they're staying in the middle of the road.
No, he's there in the previous shot. And then when they flip to the CGI
he looks at
shot,
them and they smile, and then they do the long shot, and then he's gone. Yeah. And there's nowhere, and you show quite clearly, there's nowhere for him to have gone.
Well, yeah, there really is. You get this whole shot. You get the entire vista of the road and everything, and how far it stretches east.
You
to
didn't
west.
see the car they got there. Would they walk?
Anyway, I got a couple.
And that was a brutal ass episode too.
I got a couple of things. Like I said, I was in this Skype meeting the other day, and a bunch of cancellations over at DC, which are things that were in the pipe, which were coming, which aren't coming anymore. They were going to do a reprint of Detective Comics 1 through 27.
Yep.
That reprinted all the stories that were done before the first appearance of Batman. Now, Detective 27 has been reprinted before, multiple times, but nobody's ever reprinted all of Detective Comics number 1 through number 26. Mm-hmm. So they're going to do that. They aren't doing that anymore. And the reason they're not doing it is because of content. There's stuff in there which nobody had a problem with in 1940, and which maybe 10, 12 years ago you could have read and said, well, that was then, and, this is great being able to have all this stuff. But in today's environment, DC doesn't want to publish any of this.
So, what, Stephen Fetchit enough one to
probably stuff on that level. There's probably offensive black stereotypes and probably offensive Asian stereotypes.
And multiple racial insensitive.
You know what? I do remember Detective Comics cover, early one, that had that on that.
Yellow Claw stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Fu Manchu stuff.
Yeah.
But DC was going to reprint all these in a great big hardcover. I think it was supposed to be an omnibus.
Yeah, it was.
But they're just going to dump all of them.
It was like $100 somewhere. It was a big, huge hardcover book.
And DC's not doing that now because of the content. They just scrapped the whole thing. DC solicited last month The Other History of the DC Universe, which was a miniseries.
Written by John Ridley.
Which was supposed to show you what was going on in the DC Universe in between events like Superman landing on Earth, Superman's first appearance, Wonder Woman's first appearance, Batman's first appearance. If you ever read the original history of the DC Universe that Marv Wolfman and George Perez did, right after the original Crisis back in the mid-'80s, it was supposed to be a companion piece to that. Now, it was done up more like a regular comic book storyline, where the original history of the DC Universe was these full-page things with Superman with text across the top and then this beautiful drawing by George Perez of the character and some of the background stuff on each page. It's been taken off the schedule and is being retooled.
It's also started out as an individual project and became a Black Label book. So they sort of folded it in. So
the impression I got from Dan DiDio talking was that this is going to be something that's going to be more in line with the original history of the DC Universe, and that it won't be a narrative. It'll be a full page of Black Lightning, and here's what he was doing during all this, and it'll be a history of going all the way back through present day of all these characters, just like the original history was, which would sort of torpedo the whole idea of it being a narrative story. DC Nation, the magazine, it's gone. They've canceled it. They did say that they're going to retool it and bring it back later. I never saw the point behind DC Nation because they're already doing DC previews.
They should have made them one magazine.
They should make it one big magazine. I always thought that, you know what, you're doing an awful lot of editorial work here for no reason at all, because a lot of the material that's in the one is in the other. Not that the magazine didn't have a nice format, and not that the magazine wasn't a nice presentation, but just combine the two. You're doubling your work. There's no point behind that. The funny thing about that is now Marvel is doing a large-size magazine too. Yeah, well, Marvel, it's not. It's got another name.
It's got another name. Yeah,
I forget the name of it. But they're doing a large-size magazine too because DC did that. Now DC scrapped theirs.
So Marvel may go, what are we doing?
Well, Marvel will probably scrap theirs. There's no point in doing it. The only reason they did the large one was because of DC.
Yeah, DC did.
Now, DC, like I said this will be brought back later, but anytime I hear will be brought back later, it's like, yeah, of course I'll love you forever.
It's never coming.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if the DC previews got bigger and had some of this content in it, which would make sense. Yeah. That wouldn't be a problem. Finally, the last thing I got out of this was a bunch of trades that DC was going to produce have been canceled, such as Green Lantern Kyle Rayner Volume 3. Now, DC does what's essentially the epic collections for their books. They've started doing that. Kyle Rayner Volume 1, Kyle Rayner Volume 2 are both in that epic collection size. I'm not sure if DC's got a name for those or not. But there was a Volume 3 coming, and they canceled it because they looked at the sales figures on 1 and 2, and they said, the sales just aren't here to justify doing a Volume 3.
I don't understand why you would do a Kyle Rayner collection in the first place.
It's a material that's out there.
You would just make it as a Green Lantern trade. Why?
Well, it is a Green Lantern.
Yeah, but
it's Kyle Rayner.
Yeah, but literally the rest of you could simply go.
It's Green Lantern to Kyle Rayner years.
Arc. Kyle Rayner arc. Okay, Kyle Rayner's gone. Someone's back. Boom, 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 boom. It'd be like Marvel doing. We're going to do a Ben Reilly omnibus.
Well, one of the things that DiDio did say was you're going to see fewer trades in the future from DC, but what you are going to see is more larger trades from DC. So instead of a 6-issue or a 5-issue trade coming out that collects one storyline, instead they're going to get more into 12, 15-issue epic collection size trades. You're going to see more of those with a higher price point. That's it for DC News. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a dollop of Marvel news. Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Most people don't know this, but I got my start in comics retail on February 20th, 1978, when I became the store manager of the Comic Book Emporium. 16 years later, I opened Alternate Reality on August 20th, 1994. Like Superman's penchant for double L's, it seems the 20th has always been an important part of my life. I respect that heritage, which is why we have a Founders Day sale on the 20th of each month here at the store. Every 20th, stop by and you'll save 20% off all of your purchases all day long, only at Alternate Reality. And we're back. Bo?
Yes?
What's Matt Murdock up to? I hear he's dead.
He's in a very bad way.
I hear he's dead.
He's getting better.
This is a tradition they started when Marvel Knights came again. Every writer in Daredevil, when they leave Daredevil in his position and they tell the next writer, fix it.
Yeah, but they haven't done that in a long time.
No, they haven't. And Saul went, I want to go back to that. And Marvel went, okay, fine. So he's done. January will bring you a 5-week limited series called Man Without Fear, and then Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto, who was going to draw the Punisher book and got pulled off the book, and now we sort of know why. He'll be the new team on Daredevil in February, and Zdarsky says this is going to be a real-world vigilante book. If a character like Matt Murdock exists in the regular world, exactly what could he do, what could he not do, and how could he not get the crap beat of him every single issue?
He does in Netflix.
Yeah, he does in Netflix, right.
That's what I'm saying. That's the version of Netflix
Yeah,
now?
so he's basically going, he said, I'm going to do a real-world vigilante thing.
Well, the problem with that is, to begin with, he's a superhero.
Well, yeah, and he said you also...
Not that he wouldn't get beat up.
Well, you're also going to deal with the fact that he was almost dead like about 2 months ago, and now he's back. What kind of condition could he possibly be in after being almost dead?
Well, I just remember, when I was younger, I used to read Daredevil, all these Gene Colan shots of him being incredibly athletic and bending his body at right angles, you know, or flying from one building to the other, doing flips and stuff, which they really haven't done much of anything with from what I've seen in either the comic or the Netflix series. He basically just shows up and gets beat up and beats up other guys.
He's the ultimate athlete.
There's nothing graceful about him. Basically just punching bag material. And it'd be nice to get back to that, hey, I'm really athletic type stuff. I can really glide through the air on this rope, or I can somersault in the air and then catch this pipe over here and swing my body around 360 degrees in the air and land on my feet.
He was swinging around with a cane. Yeah, the Billy Club has a little hook on it. He was swinging around with a little hook.
They've been messing with Daredevil ever since they put him in that awful Sears weather beater outfit. Blue with the weather veins on the shoulder.
Well, that was his battle suit.
That was bad suit.
Yeah, it was because he's getting beat up.
It's like this guy really is blind if he's putting something on like this. It's like you just taking away the core of the character. Like the whole thing with the Shadowland thing. He just totally forgot the fact that he killed somebody, and Foggy goes to him and said, we will not speak of that again. He actually put that in the book and said, that didn't happen. We are not allowed to talk about that anymore.
Well, that's part of the problem of Marvel's current look at continuity. Is yes, it's all there, except we just won't talk about some of it. So you've got these big holes in continuity, which everybody knows about, but nobody does anything about or addresses.
But Matt Murdock he's a man for the law, and he's also got Catholic guilt.
Then he's in the wrong business as a superhero if he has Catholic guilt.
Talk to Frank Miller about that. He's the guy that made him Catholic.
He's the guy that made him Catholic. He wasn't Catholic till Frank Miller showed up.
Well, he was. Nobody knew about it.
No one knew his mother was a nun.
A Catholic superhero.
Yeah, that's like Ben Grimm. Nobody knew he was Jewish until John Burns said, hey, he's Jewish.
By the way, he's Jewish. You know what? He is? His last name's Grimm. What are you, dense?
And he was created by Jack Kirby.
He was created by Jack Kirby. He spent a lot of time hanging out in delis. What are you insane? And he smokes cigars?
Well, none of those are particularly Jewish.
No, they're not. But it's like Grimm. His name is Ben Grimm. Look at the origin of the name. And Jack was a Jew. So.
Yes, he was. And so was Stan. Most of the people in comics
are
back
Jewish.
Then were Jewish.
Then,
Siegel and Schuster were a couple of nice Jewish boys.
So we're going to work here in these comics and make some money.
So now we got a Catholic superhero who has remorse.
Well, you've had a Catholic superhero since the late 80s.
Yeah, he's been a Catholic superhero since they gave the book to Miller because people went...
early 80s.
Nobody's really buying Daredevil. Frank says, I got an idea. Go for it. That was Jim Shooter going, go for it.
Well, that was back when Jim Shooter was in charge and anything goes.
The book's not selling. You got an idea? Okay, do what you want to do.
Moving on, one more run. Ethan Sachs and Robert Gill, what are they doing?
Old Man Quill. Star-Lord, man!
Who cares about Old Man Quill?
Everyone cares about Old Man Quill. He's Peter Quill. Well, Old Man Logan's selling. Dead Man Logan's starting to sell. Yeah. So they said, well, we can do this with Peter Quill.
We can do this for everybody.
And actually they said, we could do this for any character and go, why don't we go to the future and see these people old and all screwed up and see how they get themselves out of it. So Guardians will go to Peter Quill and go, look, we know you're retired and we haven't talked to you in 30 or so years, but we need your help. He'll go, okay, because I screwed up being emperor of my planet, so I'll help you out. And
that's the reason why DC does Old Lady Harley.
And that's why Old Lady Harley. Now, this Star-Lord, the way this will be looked at, the Steve Englehart Star-Lord was a guy who was out there trying to get revenge.
Yeah.
This will be more like that, the original incarnation of Star-Lord.
What's he trying to get revenge on?
His planet screwed up, and you've helped my planet. It's messed up. I need revenge.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Is
he Catholic, too?
We don't know. He's from Mars. He's from the United States. You have to go back to the old helmet. I always thought that old helmet was kind of cool.
The Avengers. Yes. There's no road home?
No road home.
Why not?
Well, the No Surrender team of Ewing, Zub, and Wade are coming back with a... No Surrender was 16 issues. This is only 10.
That's what the Uncanny X-Men series is. That was 10, too.
Yeah, you'll have Paco Medina and Shanazaki drawing it, so you have 2 artists instead of 4. You'll have Voyager, Hulk, Hercules, Hawkeye, Spectrum, Vision, Scarlet Witch, and of all people, Rocket Raccoon team up. Now, as is the case with No Surrender, they brought the Hulk back there. That's where the Immortal Hulk came from.
The Immortal Hulk.
Yeah, the Immortal Hulk. The 5th issue of this one will introduce another character back, and you'll go, oh my God, what the hell did they do to that character?
What character?
They won't tell us.
Pam.
Could be. It's someone from Marvel history, and they are celebrating their 80th anniversary this year. It's a big deal Avengers character from way back then. So, yeah, it'll be a, like, what the hell? Where's this character been all this time? So, yeah, it could be. Maybe they'll turn Hank Pym back to being Hank Pym.
So he comes back to Earth and finds out that Wasp is dating Tony Stark all over again. It goes crazy.
Hey, look, they're both grown adults, you know. Tony's around, Wasp is around, they're adults, they know each other, they got money, things happen. Okay. Peter's back with Mary Jane, just accept it.
I'm okay with that.
Deal with it.
The Pym thing here cracks me up because this is one of the reasons why I love the Avengers. They are basically the perfect example of heroes with feet of clay.
Yeah.
And it took somebody like Bendis to come up with, this guy was a wife beater.
Yeah.
But and the whole issue, which we all said the best issue that came out last year was the Secret Invasion issue where Iron Man and them were sitting at the dinner table issue. And basically Iron Man said point blank, we've been trying to kick you out for the longest.
You're like, what?
We stopped Thor from smacking you with his hammer.
What?
And he's like, what? But we didn't do anything about it.
I am not condoning abusing women in any way, shape, or form, but it's been 30 years.
Yeah. And that was
at some point, do we work our way through this?
Yep, and that was Englehart writing that story.
I mean, I'm not talking about the Ultimate one, who was like a total jag.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about original continuity Henry Pym.
You talking about
slapped her the one time, and he's been paying for it for 30 years.
30 years. Yes, exactly.
So hasn't she forgiven him at some point?
She has.
Well, she has. She married him twice.
She moved on.
She married him twice.
Remember, we're talking about Henry Pym, who's not stable to begin with.
And
that's the thing they should be playing more attention to.
But here's the funny thing about that. They said that he's really smarter than Reed Richards, but they don't play up to it. They just say
because Reed Richards has better press, and Reed Richards basically sold himself better. Giant Man, Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket. He keeps changing his name. He kept changing his identity. That alone told you he wasn't really totally stable because he couldn't focus on one specific identity. He kept changing his look.
My attitude towards that has always been like Superman and Flash. Flash is faster than Superman because Superman can do everything. Right. So you give the Flash something.
Right.
Okay.
Superman can fly. He doesn't need to run.
Reed Richards is the smartest guy in the Marvel universe, but Henry Pym, molecular biology, probably better in that one subject than Reed Richards is. But as an overall discipline, Reed Richards, I think, is the smartest one in the Marvel universe, smarter than Hank Pym. But Hank Pym is probably smarter in molecular biology. If there was a molecular biology problem, he would probably call Pym in to assist him.
Come help me.
Yeah, I need your help because you're better at this than me. But I can run rings around you with just about everything else.
If you were talking about genetic mutation, you would call Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about creating things out of nothing, you'd call Tony Stark.
But if you're looking at the smartest guy, it's Reed Richards.
Reed doesn't focus. He's like, he could be sitting there thinking all the time, but he doesn't because he's like, well, I got a family.
Well, he's the perfect ADHD superhero.
Probably.
And it's a tribute to also his powers, stretching. Yeah. His brain just stretches off in all different directions.
But I think most people have forgiven Henry Pym for smacking Janet Van Dyne 30 years ago.
It's time to move on with that. I mean, do something with the fact that he's mentally unstable.
Yeah,
that's the thing that you need to work on.
Now he's half
Ultron now. He's unstable. He's a villain now.
Well, there's a good reason for throwing him out of the Avengers, not for slapping Janet around. Speaking of romance,
romance.
Speaking of romance, Felicia Hardy is back in Amazing Spider-Man's Life.
Yeah, Heist. The current art was drawn by Humberto Ramos,
and Mary Jane, of course.
Mary Jane's back.
Is there too.
Now, what was really interesting? Nick Spencer said when he was working on the script for issue number 1, Mary Jane wasn't part of it. He had dinner with Joe Quesada, and Quesada went, "I think it's about time to hook them together." And he went, "Really? Yeah, it's about time."
What, Felicia Hardy and Peter?
No. Well, Felicia Hardy and Peter have always had this.
Felicia Hardy and Mary Jane?
No, that would be damn interesting.
That's the wrong book.
Remember, Mary Jane was hanging out with Tony Stark.
Yeah, well, that's something that Peter should have, given her the stink eye for.
And so now they're back together because Quesada went, it's time. And so people went to Spencer, are you looking at One More Day? And he went, I can't comment on anything about that. But yes, there are people in the background of a supernatural nature who aren't happy about the two of them being together, who I won't show, but you know who they are.
I hope that they're going to address that and fix that.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of One More Day.
No, that was...
no matter how good the stories were afterwards, that whole fix, quote unquote, air quotes, that was just lame, and I never liked that at all. Well, and it totally derailed all the JMS stuff.
Well, Spencer's the guy who's apparently been told, if you want to wrap this up, you have my permission.
That's probably the problem with editorial in comics. For the longest time back in the 70s and 80s, it's when Mary Jane and Peter are going to get married. Yeah. Okay, fine, we finally get them married. Under Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter. Okay, then they get married. Then you've got this whole new group of people that come in and go, it's really stupid that they got married. We prefer Peter back when he was his free, single, unmarried, carefree days. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get rid of that. They did the same thing with Superman, with New 52. Lois and Clark are married for 20 years.
No, so they're not.
And then the New 52 comes along and they're not married anymore because a new group of people came and said, well, that's stupid. We want to go back to what Superman was originally. And they go back to it, and then it's like, well, this is stupid. Let's go back to the way it was before. And it's like, figure it out. It's either one thing or the other.
Make it fun. But that's the arc going on now, the heist arc. The next arc will involve J. Jonah Jameson, who is apparently a talk show radio host. And it'll bring back the Enforcers.
Those lame-os again.
But they won't be lame as Nick Spencer's right now.
They won't be. Those lame-os, huh?
Yeah.
Those Enforcers.
Actually, when the Enforcers first popped up, they weren't lame-os.
Well, one of them was Ox.
Yeah.
Who went on to do more stuff. Yeah. I remember Daredevil issue in the late 60s, early 70s.
So they're not that lame. Then after that's over with, 2019 is going to have a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to find out who this villain is in the background.
The one that had Kingpin kissing his foot.
Yes. You're going to bring back Kraven the Hunter. You're going to also increase the tension between Kingpin and Boomerang because, well, Kingpin's mayor of New York City and Boomerang's the head of the mob. And Kingpin's like, no, but I used to be head of the mob. And you're not doing as good a job as I did. You suck.
Wait a minute, how did Boomerang become the head of the mob? Because I thought he got clemency because of the whole
he wants to come back. He wants to come back.
Well, I thought Boomerang was a good guy now.
Yeah, he got clemency.
Well, he's not a good guy anymore.
I thought he had become sort of like Captain Cold on the Flash TV series. He used to be a bad guy. Yeah. Then he became sort of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because he
was Peter's annoying ass roommate.
Well, that,
yeah, he's still that.
But he's like going, I don't know if I like being an annoying ass roommate because I was having more fun and making more money as a villain because when I was a villain, I didn't have to share an apartment with these guys. You
know what? You were a stupid character to begin with.
Well, yes, he was.
Your name's Boomerang because you throw boomerangs. Yes. I mean, people talk about Captain Boomerang in the Flash.
As lame.
Okay. Well, if he's just as lame, then so is Boomerang.
They're both pretty lame. Your power is you throw boomerangs. You live in Australia?
Captain Australia? Boomerang is from Australia.
He is but this Boomerang is from New York.
He's from New York, and he was an ex-pitcher for the Yankees who... Basically,
wouldn't he be Knuckleball Schwartz?
Yeah. Who basically took money from the mob, and he decided to, you know what? Let me try this thing out. It's a boomerang. And, he's like, what if I put some C4 in the end of it? There you go.
Well, it's Captain Boomerang.
Boomerang was much more interesting in Superior Foes, where he was basically a guy who wasn't wearing his costume as a regular person, which Nick Spencer did. So that's one of the most interesting Boomerangs that have been done for quite some time. He's a villain, but he's also a villain who really liked to be something more than just a generic villain because they go, hey, he's a joke. He's Boomerang. He's stupid.
That's it for Marvel News. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to hit indie news. Located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood, Alternate Reality is the only brick-and-mortar store that discounts all new comics 15% off every day for everyone, and that's been since 1994. And all brand new first issues are discounted at 25% off every new Comic Wednesday. So stop on down and save some money. And we're back. Indie news. Bo, Millar World. Big news at Millar World. He's got lots of plans for 2019.
There's a lot of stuff that Mark Millar announced because Mark Millar is one of the king of salesmen. There's a lot of stuff he announced that we'll probably never see in our lifetimes or even his kids' lifetimes.
You don't know that.
Okay, let's go through the list. And you see that. Okay, he and Jay Lee...
You got Prodigy already out.
Well, yeah, but that was not one of the books that was already announced. That was a brand new one. That came out of nowhere. He and Jay Lee were working on a book. Jay Lee said, I can't do it. Chrononauts Future Shock with Sean Murphy. Murphy, when I got this DC stuff to do.
I know.
Well,
the
he's
story
done
behind
Chrononauts. He's done Chrononauts.
He did the first one. This is supposed to be the follow-up.
It's supposed to be a follow-up, and it was supposed to lead into a movie.
Yeah, a Universal movie. Huck was supposed to be 18 issues. 6 issues.
3 story arcs.
Yeah, 3 story arcs. Well, Raphael Albuquerque's doing Prodigy, so he's not doing that. Jupiter's Requiem. I don't know. Frank Wiley's got time. You don't see it being anything. Super Crooks and Bounty Hunters, Superior 2, Empress 2. He was supposed to be working on a book with Brian Hitch. Never happened. American Jesus Messiah. Never happened. Nemesis Returned. Never happened. Starlight 2 for Goran Porlov. Never happened. Option to be a movie, although they did trademark Starcourt, Starbeam, and Star Crusher, so I guess there's something going on there. War Heroes issue 2 or 3?
War Heroes did 3.
Yeah, 3 was supposed to be what? 4?
3 came out. 4 is what never shipped.
Yeah, Tony.
And I think we're coming up on the decade anniversary.
Yeah, we're at the decade. Tony Harris has basically said he's got no interest whatsoever in finishing that up.
I got news for him. Nobody
and no
has
one
any
cares
interest.
because we forgot all about it.
Nobody has any interest in seeing it.
It's like talking about Image United. We've sort of forgotten all about it.
That's coming any day now.
No, it's not. He was also working on a book with Bill Sienkiewicz, which he said, I'm working on a book with Bill Sienkiewicz, and nothing's been heard from him since.
You know what I love about comic book fans? What? If these were all DC or Marvel books, they'd be up in arms.
They'd be up in arms.
These guys, I love them.
But now what he did do, he announced a book which he wasn't talking about, Sharky the Bounty Hunter. It's in the new previous catalog. Okay. Simone Bianchi's drawing it. Secret Wars, Simone Bianchi. Okay. It has a bounty hunter tracking criminals across the galaxy. It is converted to rocket-powered ice cream truck.
Okay.
With his help with his 10-year-old partner.
Okay, really?
It's on the cover. It's on the cover of previews.
Sometimes I think Millar he looks at this and goes,
he throws stuff up in the air.
No, how much stupid crap can I put in this before I get to the point where somebody calls me on it?
I think it's time to call him on it.
And when you tell me it's a guy's got a rocket-powered ice cream truck, that just smacks of Millar saying, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get away with this.
Really?
And he's got Netflix money, so it doesn't matter. It's okay. When they made that Netflix deal, all the people working on these books all got money out of it. They all got a cut of that deal.
Well, they should be working on the books then.
Why not story behind Chrononauts? There was a story in the old comic book weekly magazine about the fact that the artist and the writer said basically it's going to cost us a ton of money out of our pockets to put out the next series for it. That's why the last issue took 4 to 6 months to come out.
Well, that and Sean Murphy's like, I got this DC money.
Yeah, we don't have the money or the time because we own the characters, but we have to sit up there and pay for all this stuff to get it out ourselves.
But if you look at something like American Jesus Messiah, it's been drawn by Peter Gross. He's not drawing anything right now.
Well, one of the things I have noticed is the only books that Millarverse or Millar World is cranking out on a regular basis is Kick-Ass and Hit Girl, both of which the writing duties have been farmed out to someone else.
Yeah, farmed them out.
Someone else is doing the writing on that. Now, why can't other people do the writing on some of these other books and get them out there? Millar could actually have a slate of books coming out every month if he farms some of this stuff out. I got a feeling that his big problem is he doesn't have any sort of production staff underneath him. For all the talk about Millar World, Millar World is not Top Cow.
No.
Or Millar World is not the...
Top Cow's not Top Cow.
Well, or the former Wildstorm, where you have a whole slate of production people who are actually working at getting these books out. I think it's Millar and 1 or 2 other guys, and they're humping these things out, and there's only so many hours in the day.
No. He has a production staff because the person who's running the Hit Girl and the Hitman books, the production staff, she works for Millar. That was the intentional.
Then farm the stuff out.
I don't have time to do... Well, these books are all been announced with these big deal creators.
Okay, but Chrononauts 2 or Huck 2, farm it out to someone else. I mean, to another writer.
But he writes all his own stuff.
No. He is not writing Hit Girl, and he is not writing Kick-Ass.
Because he doesn't have time, but the other books he wants to write all himself.
The core of the Millar World universe is Hit Girl and Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
And they come out almost every month, and they come out almost on time every month.
He farms them out.
Okay? Farm the rest of these out.
He's also got these movie deals. A lot of these characters, like Chrononauts and Jupiter's Requiem and Super Crooks and Superior, these are all farmed out to movie studios. And then you sign this Netflix deal. So now you're dealing with the fact that, these are covered under the Netflix deal, so now I've got to work my way around the contract.
This reminds me of when Rob Liefeld did his split with Extreme Studios, and he had this whole slew of books that's supposedly coming out, but then all of a sudden, people from the game industry started saying, we want to put a video game on Battle Chasers. Battle Chasers.
No, that
wasn't Rob Liefeld.
That wasn't Rob Liefeld.
That was Cliffhanger.
That was Joe Madureira, and Joe Madureira basically did Battle Chasers, and completely disappeared off the face of the earth.
Book, the video game never came out. He took the money for it and didn't work on the book.
No.
That's exactly what Malal World stuff sounds like now. I remember specifically, they said Chrononauts will return.
Yeah, well,
after the 4 months after that last issue. And then I read the story on the guy. They said, we don't have the money to put this book out, and it's coming out of our pockets.
Yeah.
Campbell's Danger Girl was the same way.
Yeah.
Campbell did like maybe 5-6 issues of Danger Girl, and the first issue comes out, the second issue comes out sort of on time, and then they just keep progressively later, issue after issue after issue, and by the time you got to the 6th issue, nobody cared anymore. And then everything after that, I guess Jim Lee had the rights to the character.
Yeah, because it was part of the deal.
Wildstorm.
And Alex Gardner wrote most of those, and Campbell basically just did the covers.
And said it was going to be a movie.
A video game or something. I think it was a video game.
No, it was a video game. It was going to be a video game. There's never been a Danger Girl movie. And Liefeld got the same thing. Liefeld also got a Netflix deal. So you can be seeing the same thing from him. Liefeld's going to be announcing a whole bunch of stuff you're never going to see. The way he picks his books is, I'm doing this book, this is the artist I want. If that artist isn't available, book doesn't happen.
So this is a no news story because none of these books exist.
Well, they exist.
And none of these books probably will ever exist.
Well, we may see one.
So who cares? Let's talk about something that's actually going to happen.
We're going to see Sharky the Bounty Hunter. You're going to see that ice cream truck and go, damn, it's a nice looking ice cream truck.
No.
Hey, somehow Bianchi's drawing it. I don't care if it's stupid or not. I'm buying the damn book.
You know what? You may have a point there.
You know what I have more respect for?
What?
A character like Turok. Turok always comes back.
Yes.
Most of the time nobody cares, but Turok always comes back.
99% of the time.
There's that 1%.
Yeah.
There's always that 1%. Turok is coming back, baby, and you're going to care so much.
I'm not buying it. Turok, Dynamite Comics are trying to get Ron Mars and Roberto Castro. It'll be basically Turok year one. It'll be once they go off into the Lost Land where anything can happen.
Is this like the 6th year one they've done with this character?
I don't know. They all blend together after a while. They just go, pooh, like, they're doing another one? Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, which company is this one? Oh, okay, Turok's from this company. Oh, okay. Didn't sell. Oh, who else got it? Oh, another company's got it. Oh, okay.
You know what always got me about Turok? He's a Native American, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and he hunts dinosaurs.
Yes.
The angle there is Native American, not dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are there as the cool part, but the Native American part, that's your meat. That's what you work on the same way, like with Luke Cage.
Yeah.
He's a black superhero. The superhero part is the sizzle. The black part is the part you work on. Same with Turok. Native American part, that's what you work on. And yeah, the dinosaur part's important.
He sees the space.
And of course, the flip side of that is, why is he hunting dinosaurs?
They're hunting him.
It's Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Well, no, this will just be called Turok.
Okay,
they've dropped the Dinosaur Hunter out of this thing. He'll be on this lost world being hunted by the soldiers who are chasing him, and apparently, according to Ron Mars, anything can happen.
Great.
And also, Dynamis relaunching Red Sonja again.
Okay, if anything can happen, does that mean the book might actually be good?
Hell no.
Well, anything can happen.
Okay. I cannot say that all the Turok stuff was bad. I just don't care enough about the character to try his book.
Seriously, you need to give Ron Mars some breathing space with this. He might actually have come up with an idea for the character. But I don't think anybody's done much of anything interesting with this character going all the way back to his inception.
Ron Mars and I bounced off and interact with each other a whole bunch on Facebook. He's a great guy, but I don't care about Turok.
Well, maybe you will.
Most of the Gold Key characters mean nothing to me. I just don't. And also, they're going to be relaunching Red Sonja again.
Of course they are.
With Flintstone's Mark Russell and Mirko Kolak.
It's going to be interesting to see how long Dynamite keeps Red Sonja with all the Robert E. Howard stuff. Yeah. Except for Red Sonja. Going over to Marvel.
Yeah. I think about a year, maybe. Well, it depends on the sales of the first issues of Conan. If the sales are really good, Marvel's going to go, we like Red Sonja.
Oh, Marvel's pushing the crap with dealers out of buying just a butt ton of Conan ones. And it's like, yeah, I know what Conan sells. Conan has been a dark horse now for the last 15 years. Conan does not sell nearly as many books as you want me to order.
Yeah, but
really, Conan doesn't. Even if I double my old dark horse order, it's still not that many books.
But what you should be ordering is the Thor, Jason Aaron, Esed Ribic numbers, not the Dark Horse numbers. This is a much more important team on Conan now.
Okay, well, I'll be ordering up on the first issue, but I'm not expecting it to go anywhere.
And you're getting alternate covers this month. Conan meeting the Marvel Universe.
Okay, the thing you just mentioned about the Thor, Jason Ribbick, and
Jason Aaron.
That was the Thor version of it. This is the Conan version. Okay, this is a step down. This is not Thor.
But Jason Aaron said he's been reading Conan since he was a teenager.
You know, back when Dark Horse first got Conan, I forget who the creator was.
No, it wasn't Tim Truman.
It was
Tim Truman ended up working on it. A couple people worked on it.
And yeah, he was going on by, I've read all the Conans, I've always loved Conan, blah, blah. The first issue that came out with him. You know, I've always loved Conan, Conan's great, Robert E. Howard, you know, I'm going to go back to basics, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, first couple of issues sold great. And then afterwards, everybody realized, oh, wait, this is Conan. And he stopped buying the book, because it's Conan.
Well, I would imagine, I will have more faith in the Jason Aaron side. He's got a track record.
Conan is like Doc Savage. Yeah. There's only so much you can do with the character.
Doc.
Yeah. And I love Doc Savage. It's a very limited character.
You have no faith in this book, do you?
Conan?
No, Turok.
I always have great hopes for all books because I want to sell them.
Well,
it's money to me. Yes, I always have great faith in all books, but I also have track records for all these books. And I know what Turok sells. Turok does not sell. I always live in hopes that these people are going to come along with the surefire concept that's going to make this book a huge hit. And 9 times out of 10, it never happens.
Well, what's your top sale with a Dynamite book anyway? What, 10 issues? 12 issues?
Well, it's skewed with Dynamite because they do so many covers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
every book
of course, there'll be multiple covers.
Every book has 4 covers. And of course, there are folks who will buy more than one cover on a book, so that automatically inflates the total as opposed to one cover. Not that Marvel isn't doing multiple covers, but it's a lot of that 1 for 25 crap. Or if I order 520 copies of Conan #1, I can get this one exclusive. Yeah, well, good for you. Why would I order 520 copies of this book? So I can eat 490 of them?
Yeah, it's like
Project Superpowers.
Okay.
That's out right now. That is selling good numbers, but it's selling good numbers partly because it's got every issue's got 7 covers.
Multiple covers sell that.
And as time goes by, usually what they do is they cut back on the number of covers till they get down to 3 or 4. Actually, some Dynamite books, like Princesses versus Robots, they only do 1 cover on that because they actually realize even with 2 covers, nobody's going to buy more than 1 copy of this book.
Princesses versus Robots.
That's a kid's book. It's a kid's book. That's a kid's book. Don't disparage kids' books.
I will not.
But yeah, we'll see with Turok. Anyway, moving on. Senior year's coming up for Archie, thank God. Well, are they all going to be 32? Like they're on the TV series?
37.
I love watching Archie on TV. You see all these late 20-somethings pretending they're 17.
He looks horrible. I said
because it's as the show goes on, you realize it's not his natural hair color.
No, I don't care about the hair color. The character looks like he's been mauled, run over, no sleep. Damn, Archie, lighten up.
He can't.
Well, he's been through a lot.
Yeah, he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot of problems.
He's been through Fight Club. He's been through getting branded. He's been through being a mafia don.
Yeah, all this stuff.
He's been through a lot of crap.
It's a hard life, okay? Life's not easy in Riverdale, damn it.
And you know what? All of it he did to himself. I got no sympathy for him.
Yeah, thank you.
He pushed himself into this. But Betty and Veronica are getting a 5-issue limited series from the guys who did the Betty and Veronica Vixen thing, which I picked up the first couple issues and got immediately bored with. Jamie L. Rotanti, who's also an editor over at Archie. It's going to be drawn by Sandra Lantz. Each issue will cover an aspect of the senior year. You're also going to get a Riverdale comic which follows the TV show to the letter. So what you see in the show will be reflected in the comic that you're reading. So that means you'll go, cliffhanger, oh my God, what happened? So that means the book will have to ship on time, of course, because it'll be late. Although, I found out something weird with the Archie. You know where Archie's ratings mostly come from? Not from first run. Netflix.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Family Guy.
Most people watch the show on Netflix.
Well, no, they said that with Archie. The first season got okay ratings, but once it then went to Netflix, people watch it. The second season got much bigger ratings.
Right, because
I did not watch Riverdale on regular TV. I watched it on Netflix. I didn't care.
More than one person has said that here at the store.
You catch up.
They'd say, I never bothered to watch it when it was originally on the CW, but I watched it on Netflix. And boy, that's a good show. And I'm watching it on the CW.
It's a great show. And also you're going to get a kid's book, well, a lighter toned book. Kelly Thompson's going to write a 5-issue Sabrina the Teenage Witch limited series, which will be not like the Netflix show, darker. It'll be lighter and more happy and fun.
Why?
Because Archie's experimenting with doing the kids line and the more serious
and
line.
Most people who walk out the street who don't watch the Netflix things remember Sabrina as being happy, friendly.
Melissa Joan Hart.
Right.
And now they seeing the Netflix version.
Now they're seeing Sharon Kipton and they're going, well, that's not the character that I liked. But people went, yeah, but we like it enough for it to order the second season.
Why not just read the trade paperbacks of it and look at it?
Well, I think that had a lot to do with the fact that all these characters are leaving Netflix and going to Disney streaming.
Disney Plus. Disney Plus.
Not that Netflix doesn't have all the Mark Millar stuff, which they should start doing something with.
Stuff and they ordered some other comic book universe as well.
Well, it's time to start doing something with us. And I was talking to Jared the other day. Apparently, they bought all the stuff that Willy Wonka writer wrote.
Yeah, Willy Wonka Roald Dahl.
Yeah. They just paid like $1 billion, which sounds insane to me. I think they bought them. I don't think they have the rights. I think they bought them.
He wrote a lot of books.
They've got the rights to all of them.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of stuff. He's a very prolific guy.
Okay, the last story we have is Top Cow. They're doing a story about the freeze when the world freezes.
Everyone's frozen. 99% is frozen, and only one person's around, and he's the only one who can go, unfreeze.
So it's an allegory for our socio-political system.
Correct.
No, this is just a comic book version of Tag You're It. That's all it is.
No. It's a science fiction series. Basically, the point will be, this guy's the only one who can do it, and he's selectively picking who to unfreeze.
Yeah, Tag.
He's God.
You just did that to me. You just said Tag.
Yeah, so I can do Tag, and now all of a sudden you're unfrozen.
As soon as he starts unfreezing people, that's when he's going to start regretting unfreezing people.
Yeah, well, because he'll be unfreezing.
Because then he has to deal with them.
He has to deal with them. And the also thing is, well, if we're going to start society all over again, do we follow the old rules? Or do we create new rules? Because we're not obligated to follow the old rules because we're starting over. So, what would you do if you were unfrozen? Would you be the same person? Or would you change?
Well, is he able to refreeze people?
No.
So
once he's unfrozen, they're unfrozen.
So once they're unfrozen, then he's not like the only guy and the only one in charge anymore. Yeah. He has to deal with whoever he unfreezes.
He has to deal with everyone who's there.
Now, he's still the only one who can unfreeze people. Yeah. He unfreezes somebody, that person isn't able to unfreeze anyone.
It's only him.
So it's still just him.
He's it.
So at some point, all the people who unfreezes gang up and make him unfreeze everyone else.
There you go.
Or they go, I like it, but I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him.
Or they figure out, oh, it's not you. It's really your hand, and so they cut his hand off. I think it's
a little more complicated.
No,
I think it's a connection besides just your hand.
Wait
chop the hand off. Yeah,
if you chop the hand off, the tissue will die. It won't.
No. That's what happened.
I bet you that'll be one of the story arc cliffhangers. Somebody says, "Wait a minute, it's all in his hands. Let's just cut his hand off." Dun dun dun.
That's what just happened in the Marvel storyline with Original Sin. They found out Mighty's powers came from his hand, so guess what? Chop the hand off.
There you go. Problem solved. How you doing, Stumpy?
Yeah, you'd be Stumpy.
Oh, boy.
Okay, and that's it for Indie News. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the Rorschach test. Good grades deserve a reward, and at Alternate Reality, we make that an actuality. If you're a grade schooler in the Chicagoland area and you get a report card, then you're eligible to join our Good Grades Club. Each A gets you a 2% discount, and each B a 1% discount, up to a possible total of 25% off based on your grades for this marking period. Just bring in your current report card, and we'll issue you a Good Grades Club card, and every time you make a purchase, that's the discount you'll get. So stop by the store and get the discount you deserve for your good grades. And we're back, and it's time for the Rorschach test. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you one word, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear this word. This one will be easy. We were just talking about this. Walgreens.
Love it.
Walgreens.
Convenient.
Okay. Love it. Why do you love it, Roddy?
Aside from shopping for groceries, you can pretty much get anything you want from there. I get salad from Walgreens.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Chef salad, and now my new obsession now is the 7-layer salad.
What's a 7-layer salad?
You never had a 7-layer salad?
Indulge me.
It's you get the lettuce. Yeah. But Walgreens does it better because they have the lettuce at the bottom. You got mayonnaise, peas.
Peas?
Yes, peas.
Oh, really?
And they go down easier, too.
Yeah, they do.
And, of course, for some reason or another, now I have to have an egg with my salad.
Yeah, it's egg, cheese. Cheese is there, too.
2 different cheeses and 2 different things of meat.
Okay, but they layer this stuff in so that you've got a base of lettuce.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the next one up is mayonnaise.
Peas.
Then peas. And then
you have the toppings.
Okay.
And it's like 7 layers.
Yeah, and you just mix it up and you eat it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jill's been selling those for years.
That sounds convenient.
And all Walgreens are done the same. You know exactly where the batteries are. You know, the magazine that's always in the same location. Your pop is in the same location.
Well, yeah, all Walgreens are laid out essentially the same way.
Yeah, you go to 500 different ones and you go, okay, I know where the batteries are. Bam,
It's like any convenience store. Any 7-Eleven's laid out the same way, and same with White Hens when they used to be around, not anymore.
Two-story Walgreens are not.
Those are different, yeah.
One downtown by State and Lake. There's one in Vegas, which is weird. 2 separate pop sections. You can go to the first floor, and it's laid out like a regular Walgreens with a big, long wall of coolers. And you go up to the second floor.
But it's different pop.
I don't need to come upstairs and get the pop. Or they're telling me, you don't have to go to the stairs at all. You can buy this and just walk right to where you're going. Some of them have bigger coolers. They have like a wall full of coolers. In fact, a walk-in bar, like you go to Mariano's. You go in and buy your own liquor.
Well, most Walgreens have like a wall full of coolers. Once you get to the far end of the wall where the coolers are, they go on for a good 8 to 12 doors going down, usually. It starts off with, dairy, and then it winds up with pop and beer on the other end. Assuming they sell beer.
Yeah, pop's on the end, and then you dairy, and then you get ice cream and stuff like that.
Have you noticed that they have some sort of licensing deal with a certain company, either Pepsi for one or Coke? Okay, like Mountain Dew is done by Pepsi.
Right. Yeah.
So you got all of the Pepsi company, different flavors there. You'll never see a Coke over there.
Well, that's basically the person filling it up. They're told, okay, you have to keep this stuff separate because you've got your water, and then you've got your Arizona iced teas, and then you've got fruit juices.
Well, most soda companies, they do a variety of beverages, not just Coke or not just Pepsi. You've got your secondary and tertiary brands. There's Dr. Pepper, Orange Crush, Mr. Pibb, and they'll do all that stuff. Then you go farther down, you get into water. You go farther down, you get into energy drinks. I mean, they do all that stuff.
Where there's a cactus cooler that you can only get in West Coast. That's in there. And I found a apple-flavored Mountain Dew. I'm like, that's just weird.
Apple-flavored
disgusting.
That's weird. Well, they've also got a mixed berry one out now, the mixed berry Mountain Dew Ice, which I first saw.
Oh, I love that one.
It's really good. I said, let me try this. It's pretty good.
But Mountain Dew, to me, is like basically just putting adrenaline into the heart.
Mountain Dew, I mean, I tend to cut down on my caffeine, so I tend to do Mountain Dew like maybe once in a while if I'm really, really tired. But other than that, I don't really do Mountain Dew.
You should do coffee.
No.
Coffee's much better.
No,
he loves coffee.
Iced coffee, yeah.
Coffee, coffee.
No, he wants
real coffee.
He said real man's coffee.
I don't need...
not even real man's coffee, just coffee, not a milkshake.
I'd like to just walk in, just grab the stuff, walk over to the counter, and just leave. I don't understand to have someone making the stuff for me. Just give me the coffee. Just give me the iced coffee. I'm got it. Boom, I'm done.
Just get a cup of black coffee.
Like a cup of coffee. I don't have to go.
He's old school. He does.
It's already. If I get the iced coffee, it's already mixed. I ain't gonna do nothing. Open it up and drink it.
I don't put Jack in my coffee. I don't put milk. I don't put cream. I don't put sugar. I don't put nothing. You know what I put in my coffee? Coffee. That's all I put in my coffee.
This man ripped on me doing a frappuccino one time because I said, I'm crazy about frappuccino. He said, it's a milkshake. He said, get a coffee.
That's the old Dennis Leary bed. Do you have any coffee flavored coffee?
Yeah.
Coffee flavored coffee.
So what about you? You said convenient.
Convenient. You pick up anything you want there. And then you also get points. Would you like to use your points today? I got a 7-Eleven card. They never asked me if I want to use any points. Walgreens, you have points. You would like to use them? And you always want to use your first name. Sure, why not? Okay.
No, Walgreens does that with me, too.
Yeah.
I buy more drugs there than anything else. And, I get points that roll over. And, anytime I go there to buy, like, batteries or something, just I'll let them roll over.
Yeah. You get the 5.
They like that.
You got, like, $2 in points. Yeah, whatever.
I think last time I checked the receipt, I had 7,230 something.
Yeah, and you look at your receipt. Once you get to the $5 reward, mine says just cash them.
I never bother to look at them. They've got them in the system, and it's whatever it is.
I take the receipt, I put it in my pocket, and I don't really pay attention to it. But they'll go, you have $5 in points. Would you like to use them? If I've got like a $15 purchase, okay, sure.
Yeah, give me a pencil candy bar you got over.
Right, maybe like a candy bar. Yeah, everything's on sale. I mean, you got that Canada Dry lemonade ginger ale mix. Walgreens has that. You don't find that most.
You know what's funny though about Walgreens? They do now. They make the cashier sit up there and do that.
Welcome to Walgreens?
No, not just that, but also, would you like to buy a candy bar for 50 cents extra?
Really, they do?
Yeah, that happened to me.
That's upselling. It's upselling.
Yeah, I know. It's
like when you go to this movie. Would you like? You got your card for AMC. Would you like to upgrade? No, I don't want a large Coke. I'd like to be able to walk out of the theater without drowning. Thinking.
No, you just deadpan her in the face and you say, "I got diabetes. You trying to kill me?"
Yeah, what are you trying to do?
That's
because he asked me. I go. Do you like the large? You can upgrade to the large popcorn. I'm like, I don't need a bucket of popcorn.
But anyway, we're talking about Walgreens. Is that it for Walgreens?
That's it for
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more time for news. Be sure to stop off the store's website, though, myalternatereality.com, where you will find more of Bo's news. You'll find more of JR and Vito's reviews. You'll find more about the store shipping, more about the store sales, and ever so much more. myalternatereality.com. And be sure to check out the shipping videos that I do every week for the store on the Video Outhouse on YouTube. Just go to Comic Book Man's Video Outhouse. It'll be there. If you type it in to the search engine, it'll come up and you'll find all the shipping videos. Plus, you'll find in the archives stuff that Bo and I did a decade ago. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of old news stories. You can see us back when we were not quite so gray and not quite so fat. Once upon a time.
Speak for yourself, buddy.
Yeah, you should talk. So that's it for us. Rod, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bo, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And for me, folks, until next time, bye! Thanks a lot for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please like and share it with all your friends. We value your feedback, so drop us a question, comment, show idea, or complaint either at arcomics@msn.com or, if provided, in the comments section down below on this platform. The opinions expressed in this episode are solely those of the individuals and not necessarily those of Alternate Reality Incorporated. This show is, as always, coming to you from the Alternate Reality Comic Shop, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, serving Chicago comics fandom since 1994.
CQ. This is W9GFO here. Come back.